AITA for spending my daughter's tuition money? Our daughter is 20F and she recently decided to go back to college after taking a year off. She dropped out of college a few months saying it wasn't for her. We adamantly advised against it, but she ended up moving in with her boyfriend and started working in his family's restaurant business. There was still a little north of $30K set aside in the account I set aside for her tuition money. My wife and I had been wanting to remodel our kitchen for a while, so decided to go ahead with that money. Well, now my daughter has decided to go back to college because it didn't work out with her boyfriend and she didn't like any of the jobs she had following that. She was shocked that we had used her college money towards the house, even though we had this conversation before she left. She asked if she could have access to her college tuition account before she moved in with her boyfriend, to which we explicitly said no and said that was saved for her tuition only and nothing else, and that if she left we'd use it for something else. She said she thought we were bluffing and didn't actually mean it, and that we need to help her pay for college since we are still paying for her younger brother's yearly tuition. I told her she needs to work part-time and go to a cheaper place like community college rather than a state school. She's been angry over this and ignoring her mother's phone calls. Her mother has said maybe we can still help her out financially, but we're nearing our retirement age and a little behind our retirement goals, so I don't want to take away from our savings just because my daughter made some bad choices. I feel like I have given her good alternatives and even offered to let her stay at our house free of rent so she can just focus on paying for college. AITA? This situation is harsh on your daughter. But NTA. She made a decision to drop out. And with that came you telling her that you'd use the remaining college fund money for something else. I also presume that at the time of her dropping out, she presented her decision as permanent, since she said that college wasn't for her. Meaning that you don't know how long she would have taken to go back to college if she went back at all. But I thought you were bluffing, is a feeble response. You don't get to use that line when you're making a life-changing decision and are given conditions by the people financing you. She just learned a very expensive lesson. Behind on retirement goals, but spent $30K on remodeling? I dunno, man. Whether you think you're right or wrong, be prepared for the consequences. Just like others are saying your daughter made her choice, so have you. Don't be surprised if she cuts contact. YTA not for spending the money, but for punishing her for a choice she made as a young woman. This is a lesson she had to learn, I'm sure. But most young people get psyched out over college studies and take that year off. Sometimes 2, but mostly 1 year to refresh and they get back to it. Me personally, if my daughter is taking a year off, I'm not spending that money because I'd see her coming back in a year to 5 max. You as her parents need to plan better and not punish out of perceived spite, disappointment. I'm going against the grain here to say YTA. Yes, your daughter initially made a bad decision by dropping out, but given her age at the time and your maturity as a fully realized adult, it seems like you took advantage of her poor decision-making to spend a fat chunk of money you spent years saving for her education just to make a point. Obviously it's your money, so you can do what you want with it. But the best decision for her would have been to wait to make sure dropping out was what she really wanted. That would have caused you no heartburn whatsoever. If you're behind on your retirement goals, why did you spend $30K on remodeling your kitchen? I mean, it's your money, but what you're saying is a little confusing. If money is so tight for you that you can't help her because you're behind on your retirement, why did you spend 30 grand on a kitchen remodel? Was a new kitchen worth more than investing in your daughter's future? Your future, and or your daughter's trust and esteem in you? Agreed with others saying that 19-year-olds make mistakes and it's very likely that they don't know what they're doing yet. Some do, but some need more time to figure it out. You gave your kid no grace here. She learned a harsh lesson in this, but she also learned a harsh lesson about her parents too. I would not be surprised if this worsens the relationship. For the above reasons. YTA. Info. Why were you so quick to spend your daughter's tuition money? You know people that age make stupid mistakes. YTA. You can't say the phrases, "We're behind on retirement," and "We just spent $30,000 on a kitchen remodel," in the same paragraph with a straight face. It doesn't work. It's one thing to not be able to afford to help your child. It's another thing to blow their college fund on yourself because they took a year off school. In other circumstances I'd probably lean not the asshole. But the tone of your post sounds very angry and vindictive. It seems like spending that money was as much about revenge and anger over your daughter's decision to drop out and live with her boyfriend as it was about anything else. Because that's how it reads to me. And because that attitude is small and childish, I'm going to say YTA. In a vacuum and without the emotions, it's very possible for your actions to have been reasonable. NTA. You laid out what would happen. And it happened. I understand her sadness over it. But I also don't think it's insane to have her complete her associates at a community college. Then maybe revisit the matter? Might turn out college just isn't the right fit for her. And a trade school or just entering the workforce suits her better. Better to find out paying community college rates. Yes. YTA. You saved for your daughter's education for 18 years, yet you didn't hesitate to put the money to other uses the moment she diverted from a traditional education path. If you truly meant the money for her education, you could have held it for her in case she returned to school in the future. Often people who don't complete a 4-year degree in one go still return to finish their education later or pursue trade school. It is your money. Your daughter made a poor decision leaving school and you did warn her the money would go to other uses. You are not technically wrong and your daughter is facing the consequences of her decisions. That said, people make mistakes though. Especially when they are young. And you've chosen for this to be a much bigger mistake for your daughter than it had to be. It was your right to do with the money as you saw fit and to remodel the kitchen, but it was not a compassionate decision as a parent. YTA. YTA. NTA. That was a gift and she didn't use it lol, and her way of responding to the situation just shows how ungrateful she is. I'm gonna go against the trend here and say YTA. Kids make mistakes. They drop out of school and move in with their boyfriends. I feel like you were very quick to take her tuition money and use it for your kitchen. Sure, she's not entitled to it, but she should be allowed to try to figure out her life. Lots of young people don't know what they want to do, and they need some time, like your daughter, to figure it all out. YTA. I believe that the college fund is really just a fund to help your child in life. If your child decided college wasn't for them, then I believe it's their right to choose to have that money act as a down payment on a house or something similar. It's potentially life-changing money right out of high school. Spending all of it within a year is quite aggressive. It's not even uncommon to take a few years after high school before starting college regardless. YTA pulled the trigger pretty quick on spending that tuition money. And taking a year off school constitutes making a bad choice? Yikes. YTA for not waiting a few years before raiding her college fund. People in their 20s are volatile and people can downvote me into oblivion. especially since you told her it was saved for her tuition when she asked about accessing it for other reasons, and then you rated it for other reasons. You totally suck. I'm sorry, but you do. You spend all $30K on kitchen remodel? That's not retirement goals, and she only took a year off. You spent all of it already? IDK. I actually think YTA for not having the foresight or consideration that she might regret the boyfriend thing and spending the money that quickly. A lot of kids make mistakes during college, especially because it was just a year off. You didn't need to jump to use that money. I get she made the choice and the mistake over a boy, but you could have been a safety net for her. Parents are supposed to account for the fact that kids make stupid mistakes, choices. You took it as an opportunity to make sure she can't bounce back quickly over something cosmetic, superficial. And you did it really quickly. Which is kind of gross.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.